right, guys, congratulations, you made it to the final 3. So from here, we have one more challenge. Amidst all the debauchery, we will have another challenge. Whoever wins will single-handedly choose who goes to the final 2 with them.
Just one more.
One more challenge. There will be one vote cast, and that will be by the person who wins and is already in the final 2.
Got it.
Welcome to the final 3 challenge. There are 3 steps to this challenge, signifying the final 3 aspect of it. We are going to start with a free throw that you'll go one by one, shoot a free throw. Once you make it, you will move on to cornhole. You have to stand behind the line of the pavement and make it into the cornhole. After that, you will go inside where Thomas and Lauren will direct you to a puzzle. Once the puzzle is completed, first one to finish will be immune. 3, 2, 1, go. Taylor makes his first shot. Matthew just misses.
Taylor. Oh, you doing a challenge?
Yes.
Oh God, never mind.
Yeah, bye, Taylor.
Thank you so much for coming.
Tell me Dookie I said hi.
Alright, I will.
Hey, did y'all throw your votes?
Sorry. The hell is this? Make sure you don't look out of the way.
It's a 3x3, Taylor.
That was loud.
I just heard someone say something. Random.
Yeah, no problem. I think it could be a
The cue.
I got it.
Taylor wins immunity.
I know when you promised him, and I know that I asked you first, and then you said ask me again.
When do you think I promised him?
After Elise got out. I said, what if...
No, I promised him after Tim got out.
Can you help me get on the bus?
No, right before Tim.
It's like, yeah, I got final 3, it's fine.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
All right, Taylor, congratulations on winning immunity and a spot in the final 2. But with that great power comes a very hard decision. You will now verbally choose to take one of these 2 players to the final 2 with you.
Thank you both for being great allies. I appreciate it. I made a promise several rounds ago, and I think depending on the way the jury goes, I want to be in a situation where I feel like I can argue. Amelia, I feel like you have a really strong social game, and that these people will choose you because you're so funny and you had a great game behind it. So I'm sorry, but Amelia, I have to admit it.
It's fine.
Okay.
Amelia, thank you so much for playing.
Thank you, Taylor.
Thanks.
Let me snuff you. Don't leave before I snuff. Turn left.
I love them so much, both. They're so good, and Taylor made the right decision. He made the good decision.
Amelia, I'm sorry, but the tribe has spoken. Thank you so much for playing. You played a great game. Final 3, you got so close yet so far.
Yeah, it's good. Thank you.
Congratulations to Taylor and Matthew for making the final 2 tribal council.
So basically, Survivor is a game of limited information. So in order to be as stable as you can in the game, my goal was to be as informed as I can at all times. And the fact that I came in here as the person who hosted it all before, I knew I had a big target on my back. So I had to make sure that at all times I was around with people who I knew what they were doing and who also had the potential of taking the target off of my back. This started from the beginning. I made a final 2 with Josh DeZenzio, and I tried to keep him wrangled in from the start, which started from the first vote whenever I voted for Ashlyn instead of Amelia, because I knew I could keep Amelia with me, and Ashlyn, if she stayed, would potentially go with DeZenzio if he tried to get cute. So, so basically from the beginning, I tried to get alliances with the big players, like big name players like DeZenzio, and Matthew and I had talked from the beginning, and Holly, I knew we were a good duo before. So I try to go with the players who would be most capable of taking me down, because as a result we would be able to keep the targets off of both of our backs. And so that was basically my strategy. I'll go into more detail for the questions because I don't want to bore everybody. Yeah. But I think basically the theme of the game was brain, brawn, beauty. I think that I established all 3 of those in my game. Brain, I was very strategic, and I tried to do everything with as much tact as I could, and I tried to make sure that everything I did was done in a way that I could make it to the end. All the way up to the final 4, where I felt that keeping Amelia would guarantee my spot in the final 2, because 1, I was confident I could beat Amelia in the final immunity challenge, and I felt like, especially after Matthew voted for Amelia to go, that by voting to save Amelia again, she would keep me in the final, whatever. Brawn, I won 4 immunity challenges. Never thought I would win a challenge in my life. Proud of that. Beauty, I tried to make sure that I was an option to people at all times, and I think that's one of the reasons why I was able to make so many alliances, because most of the time whenever I did talk to people, I genuinely intended on trying to work with that person. And I feel like everyone trusted me at some point in the game, and I feel like I'm here because some people stuck their necks out for me, and that's something I'm very appreciative of. And at the end of the day, my goal was to play Survivor, and I played Survivor. I ate a freaking worm, I busted my butt, and I made some hard decisions. And at the end of the day, I'm not going to apologize for my gameplay. I will apologize for hurt feelings, but this is my game, and I'm owning it.
Hey y'all, I hate doing speeches. It's hard, always for me. I think I played a clean game. When I was loyal to you, I stayed loyal. This is what I've always tried to do in these last couple of games that I've been playing, because if you know me, I always play dirty, apparently. But to this time, again, and it worked, obviously, because I played clean, I played as honest as I could, and I was loyal to everyone that I was with, until the point to where there's literally no other option. I don't know how to go into all of the tribal, like the first couple rounds were kind of hazy because I don't really remember them, because they were all just like, do your best for your team. But when it got down to the merge, we were all trying to set up our spots for the merge, and the biggest threat I thought was DeZenzio, wherever he is. He's not here. That was the turning point in the game, because when he left, it opened up everything. There was just a lot less harder threats to get out, and I knew that if me and Taylor, we always have this trust. It's unbreakable. We've done it before, and we worked together again, and it was amazing, and that's why we're here. And we just piggybacked off of each other. We both had alliances. It was literally taking one person from each side of the game and coming together and picking off someone's each other's alliances on purpose. We went back and forth. Like we said, we had this thing because we knew that I knew that if he got all of my alliances out, that he could just easily eat me, and he would be sitting pretty with his alliance. So we made the deal, and same for me. I couldn't just take out all of his alliances and then sit pretty with my people and just to eat him out. Take him out. making sure that we would go back and forth between our alliances, made sure that we had that trust, made sure that we were good together, and so that we could sail to the end because we knew that we could do it. But with Josh Dezinzio in the game, he went up to someone and was like, okay, let's get Matthew out. That person came and told me. I went and talked to Dezinzio about it, and he was like, no, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. So then he went to talk to Taylor. Taylor told Dezinzio to stop going after me. So then Dezinzio completely ruined his game, and I rallied everybody against Dezinzio. And some people were voting for Mary Kate for some reason. I don't know why.
Wait, what happened?
Because she
I
had
was
the
like-
penalty though.
Okay,
That
I
was
don't
his
know
best
why.
shot at staying.
Yeah. So he rallied. I think that was one of my biggest moves, other than aligning with Taylor. I'm not gonna again go into the boring. This is just the opening speech. But so yeah, it was an amazing day. I think I played clean. It was so much fun. I made a lot of fun relationships with everybody, new relationships, rekindling old relationships. Ate squid, an oyster, spam, all of that in under seconds. And then I fell on my face to win, almost win a challenge that I did not win in 3 seconds. I had 3 more seconds to stand with my hand on the ground and my feet on the wall, but I didn't do it. It was just a part of the story, the growth of my character in this game, and yeah. And then just everything combined, it was a really awesome experience, and I'm proud of myself because I never thought that I would get to the end again, considering my history. I can't believe it, so proud of it.
So you said, Matthew, that you played a clean game, and yet you also stated that you decided to pick off your alliances one by one in conjunction with Taylor. How do you consider that clean?
I consider it clean in the fact that I'll come back to you.
Okay. My first question is, there are obviously some huge alliances throughout the game today, like you two, Tim and I is another obvious one. Aside from you two, who would you say was the alliance that you stuck either most loyal to or was your biggest one throughout the game?
I'll go first. Mine was Holly Guidry. And it almost cost me a few times because I stayed loyal to her. I gave her every idle clue I found. We compared notes the whole time. It was because of my deal with Holly that I was able to confirm my deal with Matthew. And again, with my thing about information, Holly and I always gave each other information. We always kept each other informed, and we always knew what was happening.
I'd say Amelia, because she always had my back every single time that I would talk to her. And she always had a plan, and every time I talked to her, she would affirm me, and she would say yes, we're doing what we're doing, and we would stay true to each other no matter what. Until the end, when I made the tiebreaker vote, but I switched it to vote for Hannah, and so I kept her. Yeah.
Who, in your opinion, do you think played the best game today?
Aside from us?
And why? Yeah, aside from the two of you. So you can answer each other.
Can I say first?
Yep.
Hannah Gallagher.
Yep. Hannah Gallagher.
Literally, she was supposed to be gone Final 10, but how did she make it to Final 4? I don't know. She didn't even win that many challenges. I don't even know how many challenges she won. She was just every single time, she won a challenge at the time when she was about to go, but every other time she finagled her way through socially, and I honestly don't know how she's in Final 4. It was amazing.
No, absolutely. She had the hardest run in front of her. She was the only
yeah.
brawn person in Final 11, going to the end, except for when Elise came in for 2 rounds or so. No, she had to basically start from the beginning, halfway through the game when it was the most intense it could get. And she fought all the way to the end. And one of the things that made me end up going against her at the end was how good she was at convincing me to keep her. Because I thought if I'm up against Hannah Gallagher, she can out-talk me.
What distinguishes your game from the other person? Don't talk about your game as a whole, but something that sets you aside. Because I was kind of not watching for half the game, and then I came in, and then so I don't know that much.
Yeah.
I felt like I got my way. I think the Final 4 proves that. because I was able to get the final 3 that I thought gave me the best chances. But I think
I don't know.
this is just from the top of my head. I feel like I had more of a target going into the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the target was different. It was just like different targets. I think
Yeah.
because you're like literally the host, so like of course your target is huge. But I'm like, I don't know. I'm not gonna like toot my own horn. I just like I always know going into it, I'm gonna have a big target. Just in general. I'd say the biggest influence I had was with Holly's vote, I guess. I don't know. And then with Josh's vote, for sure. Because people, it was like almost down the, like in the middle, but I was able to like rally a bunch of people to go for Josh. And it was a surprise because we got Tim to do his change vote, and it was like basically the deciding factor.
And at the same time, I think that also shows my flexibility, because I was, one, A, able to recover, and 2, I also kind of knew about it. Sorry, Holly.
What do you think was the biggest move you made that was your idea and did not come from the other person? Like, that was you wanted to do this move, not influenced by anyone else. It was your move.
I think the biggest move was my loyalty to Taylor. Is that like a thing? Like,
Yes, that was your decision solely.
because I could have like got out Taylor and ruined my game. I think. Like there were points like I had an idol if no one knew about that. It was Tim's idol, but okay, sorry Tim. I hid the idol from you after you showed it to us. Like I hid it later on so I could have it. After you, like right no. I didn't do it while we were allies. I knew you were going out, so I was like, okay, he's gone. I took the idol and hid it in a different spot. And I was going to use it. No, I was never going to use it, but I just like, it felt good to know that I had the power to get Taylor Wick out with this idol, but I didn't because I'm loyal. That's my loyalty. That's another big move. So I would have never used it. But if there was this instance where like you weren't loyal to me, then I would just use it to save myself, like just like because I needed like if everyone was voting off me off. So it was like a crutch. Like if I ever needed like a safety because I knew people were going after me. That was just like another like aspect that I was trying to control to like make sure I was in the game.
I bought the clue to the fake idol, and I never found it, but I just showed people the clue to get them to trust me. That was one way I did that. But I think my biggest move was taking out Tim. Tim revealed to me that he voted for me, and then offered me Final 5, which to me is 5th place. So that sketchiness just made me feel like going with that side of the tribe wasn't in my best interest because it made me feel like I was at the bottom. So I feel that by getting the people to stay quiet and blindside Tim, not only took out a big social player, but it also set into motion the whole last 40% of the game, because that led to Claire's eventual elimination, and it led to me, Amelia, and Haley really hooking up again, and it kept me with the majority of people listening to me at the beginning of Matthew and my thing. So I made sure that I still had control while made sure it could work.
Yeah.
You know? So I feel like that was my biggest move.
What do you think for both y'all? What was your biggest, not backstab, but I guess you could say backstab that you've done?
I mean, okay, honestly, the power to get you out, everybody's overwhelming voice to get you out was too big for me to save you anyway. I mean, technically, there was no way I could have done it if I couldn't change my vote. If I changed my vote, you're still evicted, But a backstabbing move. I mean, it was it's really hard to say this was a backstabbing move because I was in an alliance with both of you and Hannah. It was I was backstabbing either. It was an equal backstab. So, who else? I don't know.
Mine was what?
Oh wait, Claire, wait. You might consider yours as a backstab. I still you were mad at me, but I really never put a ping pong in your thing. I put one in Holly's. I lied to you about that. I did put one in yours. Only 2. I put the rest in Mary Kate's. This is for the record. Okay. But I'm sorry. I mean, hey, we're being honest here. But I really never put one in yours because I knew, I was telling you, you were safe because I really thought you were. I had no idea that there was such a want to get you out. I really didn't know that. So that's, if you believe me or not, that's the truth for me.
Mine was every single part of the ping pong fiasco. Because I wanted Hannah out that round. I told her this already. Then she won immunity, and then I knew Claire was in trouble beforehand, so I told her to play her split idol. And then she also played it on me as well, and then I felt like awful. And I saw how many votes Holly was getting, who was my closest ally at the time. So I was voting for Claire because I saw how many votes she was getting. I was like, I have to protect Holly. And then when I saw how many Mary Kate was getting, I also betrayed Mary Kate by putting ping pong balls into Mary Kate. So like I betrayed like everyone.
This is what happens when you're in alliance with everybody. We were in alliance with everybody. Like, what do you do?
If you were in the game at the ping pong round, I betrayed you at one point during that round. And I apologize. But hey.
What do you think your worst quality in the game was? Your worst.
I mean, I'm like trying to say why I should win because I'm, we're perfect right here. No, I'm kidding. My biggest flaw maybe was like talking too much to everybody and like making sure I was good with everybody because that could have easily like come around to bite me and say like, someone say, oh, I'm with Matthew. Oh, you're with Matthew too. Oh my gosh, Matthew's with everybody. That could have been a flaw. But luckily, I was able to cover that, I guess. And luckily, I never had to use this because I was covered. Like every single round, I'd be like, okay, should I play it? But no, I was keeping it safe because I was like thinking I was safe because I knew I was covered with my alliances, my social game.
I think I got a little too emotional at the end. I feel like I could have been more decisive, but I could have been more decisive at the end. But I still made it happen. But I could have been more decisive.
If you had to argue for the other player, why they should win, what would you say?
I mean, that's easy. I feel like we've been kind of doing that already throughout this whole thing. Like, you've seen me say little things. Okay, well, that was yours. Okay, well, yeah, like, you did that good. Like, we've played very similar games, but he's played an outstanding game, too, and it's commendable. We're both commendable in the fact that we both deserve to win, I think. Like, are you meaning, like, the differences that make him better? Is that, like, okay. So, I mean, we both had some influence, but I think his influence was, like, a step above. I'll give him that. I don't know. I mean, he's Taylor Luke. It speaks for itself.
I think Matthew always, like, knew what he wanted to do, and he made sure that his plan never, like, fell off the line. I feel like I swayed more than I needed to, while Matthew knew what he wanted to do, and he did it.
At all. I don't have anything else to say. We've proved ourselves throughout this game. If you haven't been watching all day, I blood, sweat, and tears out in the cold, in the wind. It was pretty intense. I think if you've been listening, you should know. Why I deserve to win, I think it was just a step above from what I've ever played. I have never been this in the know in a game ever. This covered on all bases socially ever. And won when I needed and like had people on my side and knowing everything that was happening. So that was just me.
I think I was the most well-rounded. I had the social, I had the physical, and I had the strategic. And at the end of the day, I played Survivor, and I thank you all for helping me happen.
So, who do you think you're going to be voting for?
I'm voting to win Survivor.
Who do you want to win Survivor?
I want Taylor Luke to win Survivor. And I would just like to go on a little mini rant for a second. Matthew sat up there
And the first words that came out of his mouth is that I have played a clean game. That was what he based his entire argument off of why he should win. He played anything but a clean game. The fact that he stole the idol and could have used it to save me whenever he promised at the beginning of the game that that's what exactly he would do. He had the idol in his possession when he knew I was gonna get out. Why? Like, how is that clean in the slightest? How is anything he did clean if that's what he's gonna base how he should win off of? It's obvious it's Taylor. Taylor played a better game to begin with, and if you're gonna sit up there, at least admit that you played a dirty game. I could have respect for that. But the fact that he went up there and said that he played a clean game when he burned me and Claire, that's not clean. That's the furthest thing from clean. I don't respect that. I don't respect that he went up there and said he played a clean game whenever he could have saved me. And I'm not saying I could have gotten that much further because of it, but we promised each other. Because I would have done it for Matthew. I genuinely would have, because I genuinely wanted me, him, and Claire to be top 3. And he promised that he had the idol in his possession. The fact that he stole it was dirty enough, but the fact that he didn't use it to save me whenever that's what he promised, a little fishy. So I'm sorry, Taylor played a better game to begin with, and the fact that you blatantly lied doesn't really help your case. Therefore, I'm voting Taylor Luke to win Survivor. Well deserved, a lot more deserving than Matthew.
Alright, and them. I don't. They're probably voted about me, okay. So, who are you voting to win?
I went back and forth a lot, but this person ultimately never said my name until the very end whenever he had to pick between me and Amelia. And he ended up picking me at first, and then he went with Amelia. So I have to vote for Matthew because he did stay very loyal to me. And I know that Taylor might have played the better strategic game, but personally, I just want to go with this because I feel like he stayed very loyal to me in the end. So.
All right. Real quick, did you enjoy yourself? Would you play again?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Awesome. Hannah, was so happy to have you back after you won your first game, second game. So happy to be part of that. You were great, fantastic. I think they explained in their speeches. Can't wait to have you back in the future. All right, and with that, all votes have been cast. I'll read the results. First vote, Taylor. That's 1 vote, Taylor. Next vote, Matthew. 1 vote, Taylor. 1 vote, Matthew. The next vote, Taylor. That's 2 votes, Taylor. 1 vote, Matthew.
Hey, get our reaction.
Yeah, you don't need to watch me. You'll hear my voice. The next vote, Matthew. That's 2 votes, Taylor. 2 votes, Matthew. Next vote, Taylor. 3 votes, Taylor. 2 votes, Matthew. Matthew. That's 3 votes, Taylor. 3 votes, Matthew. Taylor. That's 4 votes, Taylor. 3 votes, Matthew. Next vote, Taylor. That's 5 votes, Taylor. 3 votes, Matthew. The winner of Survivor Isle of Deceit is Taylor. Congratulations, Taylor.